welcome into a brand new episode of WSI TV. Enjoy the show.
Hello everyone, welcome back to WSI TV. Today I am of course joined by Leah Warren. How are you doing, Leah?
I'm doing great, how are you?
Awesome. So today it is Black Friday.
Yes.
We are very excited that the holiday season is now upon us. We hope that you all had an amazing Thanksgiving and that it was relaxing and restful and that you did have a great time with your family or whoever you were spending it with. So today we're going to get into something that's a little bit interesting, kind of seasonal for this time of year. We're going to talk about travel, which is very exciting. I know Leah's very well versed in travel. She's done quite a bit of traveling in her life and is very good at giving advice and things like that. So I'm really going to try and pick her brain from her experience. But before we get started, we do have to remind you to go to WSITV.com, sign up for the WSI Vault. You can get instant access to all of our free newsletters, all of the content that we're bringing you like this, and all the other updates that we have coming every day of every week and all those things. So now let's go ahead and get started.
Right.
What do you have for us, Leah, about travel?
All right, so I'm just going to talk to you guys about how you can save on your travel and also how you can profit off of the travel industry, because it's a huge industry. And like Taylor said, I do have some experience in it. I've traveled abroad. I've traveled in the US a lot. And my last job was working for a travel company at a college. So going off of that, I know a lot about the travel industry. And one of the things that really strikes me is how big the travel industry is. The travel industry amounts to about $2.5 trillion a year.
That's crazy.
It's a huge number. And if you look at it, not just as the words, but if you look at it expanded, it is such like an inconceivable number. And about 1.1 trillion of that is just on the actual travel transport costs. So plane, train, bus, car travel. So huge industry to get in the middle of. And the average American spends about $5,000 a year on travel, $5,000 to $6,000 depending on what age group you fall into.
Gotcha.
And the average American also takes between 4 and 6 trips a year. So lots of traveling, both domestically and internationally. About $761.7 billion was spent on leisure travel in 2018, and that number has been on the rise since 2010.
Wow.
So big numbers. 15.7 million American jobs depend on the travel industry.
Wow.
And if we didn't have those jobs supported, it would take about 1,300 per household to cover those costs.
Wow. So that's
for all the
something we'd be
people.
making up then.
Yeah.
That's
But
crazy.
that cost for the government for all of us is covered by travel, because the government will profit off of people coming here, different industries profit off of it.
Yes.
If that's not there, we would all be paying more in our taxes.
So obviously, there's some really large numbers you were saying, Leah, but also now let's get into the spending side of things. Direct spending just by resident and international travelers in the U.S. averaged $34,500 per second, which is a crazy amount.
Yes.
Comes out to $3 billion per day, and we can do all the breakdowns of that for you. But just think about that number for a second. $3 billion per day is spent by people traveling, going wherever they're going, whether it's leisure or business, what have you. But that's something that you can get into whether you're traveling or you're investing for whatever reason. And obviously that's a huge, huge number that we're looking at.
Yeah, so we want to make sure that you are minimizing how much you're contributing to that number when you're traveling, and we want to maximize how much you get back from that industry. So we're going to give you some hints on that. So first, U.S. residents logged about 1.8 billion leisure trips in 2018 alone. So huge industry, and we're just stressing this, like it's
vacations.
So people don't think about this as a huge place to get into. Like, they don't think of this as an industry to invest
in.
in.
Travel is an expense for sure. You
Exactly.
Think it's something that you can make money off the back end from your vacation to Hawaii.
Exactly.
Or whatever.
Or you think that you have to be running an airline or running a hotel to get a piece of this, but that's just not the case because it's such a wide-reaching industry. This covers experiences too, so restaurants, stuff like Disney and Universal, anything that you get into, any kind of entertainment on those trips is included in that. So the average person is 99% guaranteed to take a trip every year, at least one.
Wow.
So you're going to be traveling, whether it's for work or leisure, you're going to be traveling. So we want to make sure that you are traveling at the best rates.
For sure,
and making the most from it. So baby boomers are actually the top travelers, taking between 5 and 6 trips projected in 2020. So And then right after that is millennials, taking between 4 and 5 trips. And millennials are more likely to stay in the U.S. because they have limited funds. The baby boomers are more likely to go out into the world.
The baby boomers are the most traveled kind of age group that we're looking at. Millennials are close behind them though. 13% of millennials are 13% more likely to travel to a destination with cultural or historical significance. So they're probably seeking out those experiences more so than maybe the baby boomer generation is going to visit family or going to see their ancestry or things like that, as opposed to going to seek out maybe museums or some sort of like character building experience or anything that you'd be looking for in the younger generations when they don't have that money and they're taking these trips. Maybe not as often, or maybe they're not as extravagant as they would be because they do have those limited funds, as you mentioned. We do have that 35% of millennials prefer luxury and or unique stays, so that goes along with the same thing. They're making these trips count. So we want to make sure that your trip counts as well, whether you're taking 10 a year or you're taking 2 a year. It really depends on how you're spending your money and where you're spending it. And then just back to the stats, 85% of baby boomers prioritize being near attractions when they book their stay. So again, you're looking for the things that are around you, the things you can do, and about experiences while you're there.
Absolutely.
So,
and the vast majority of travel is dependent on online resources. So that's a new thing that baby boomers are just starting to get into, that millennials are well versed in. The unique stays is in large part because of places like or sites like Airbnb, because with things like that, we have this opportunity for more unique and unusual stays because it's people's own homes that they have renovated however they want instead of the standard hotel. But that's also opened up this opportunity for much cheaper travel
for sure.
if you can access those online resources.
Well, it's also an income opportunity too if you do have that sort of space available to you. I believe we discussed a little bit in the book, but it's something that you can rent your home out if that's something you're interested in. If you live in a destination area, we live in Orlando, Florida. I'm sure there's tons of Airbnbs and vacation rentals that people do here, and that's another way that you can profit off of this travel.
Absolutely, and you don't even have to have the space that you can give up completely. You can do a room share, you can do a single room. That is an option on Airbnb. And the same for when you're going to stay somewhere. If you want to do kind of a homestay sort of situation, you can live with another family in another country, or you can just share their spare room, or you can do a multi-family unit. There are all kinds of options with this depending on how much you want to immerse yourself in, and usually they're cheaper options.
For sure.
So that's definitely something to consider. So we've covered how much people travel, but now we want to talk about when people are traveling. So the most popular travel dates are the week before Thanksgiving.
So this past week.
Yes.
You missed it.
Yeah, so hopefully you didn't get too trapped in the traffic. Wednesday is the biggest travel day, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. And then just throughout that week, about 54% of people are traveling that week. So big numbers. And then travel increases about 23% in December at large. So we're in a huge travel period right now.
So this is the hot seat right now.
Absolutely. And so you'll probably notice that if you're booking flights or if you're driving, the streets are clogged, flights are really pricey. It's just kind of a mess. Lots of flights get delayed too because there are weather issues with snow if you're traveling anywhere other than Florida. Other popular travel dates include the 4th of July, Memorial Day, and Labor Day. Those are much more dependent on more domestic travel and especially car or bus or train travel.
Very true.
But big travel days, and our advice to you is don't travel on those days if possible.
If you can afford it, yes.
If you're planning a family trip, obviously that's dependent on the holidays because you probably want to be with your family for the holidays. But if you're planning a leisure travel trip for yourself, do not book during Christmas or Thanksgiving. Usually try to stay away from Easter or those big weekends too. Because prices and flights go up, especially if you wait till the last minute to buy your flights. And then just in general, where you're staying, everything, they hike up their prices to those premiums. Where in the retail industry, we just did an episode on that, those prices go down at this time of year, travel prices go up, which is great for if you're invested, but if you're trying to travel yourself, it's a problem.
You did mention to me earlier that obviously it's a supply and demand thing. We can't really blame the retailers for doing that or the travel companies for doing that, but like you said, you need your butt on a seat on a plane and you're willing to pay for it, they're going to charge you more for it.
Absolutely. Yeah, and that's really the issue, and we want to make sure that you guys aren't in that situation.
Exactly.
So always book in advance, but also flights do fluctuate from week to week. They usually say about 6 weeks out is the best time to buy your flight.
Yeah, so you should be looking in advance for sure.
Yes, but absolutely just keep an eye out. You can use Google Flights, Kayak, different sites like that. Yeah, to check on what the prices are like from day to day. You can even set up alerts for when the prices drop below a certain point, and that can be your buy-in option. Just kind of like in the stock market, but with buying your flights. And then we also recommend traveling to places that are less popular. A lot of the popular destinations tend to have much more expensive stays because there are so many people going there that everything gets booked. Even Airbnb start hiking up their prices because they're in a premium area. Flights can also get more expensive unless you're in a huge hub. Orlando is one of them. Las Vegas is one of them. London's an international one. There are these hubs that have cheap flights because everybody uses them as their connections to get other places. But other than that, try to go somewhere off the beaten path.
Yes.
So ways to save on your travel. If you want to talk to us a little bit about this, Taylor.
Yeah, of course. So like we're talking about all these different ways that travel is kind of generating money, and we've mentioned here and there that there are ways that you're not contributing to that. But there are very specific ways that you can make sure that you're making the most for your dollar, you're getting everything that you're paying for, and there's some ways that you can kind of trim off that subtotal at the end. So we do have a couple main categories for you. The first that we want to discuss is senior discounts, which if you are a senior citizen, you probably don't want to advertise that. We totally understand. However, you can get some serious discounts for this.
Absolutely.
So all you have to do is ask. Really, most airlines will offer 10 to 25% on flights for someone who's over the age of 65. So if you have that qualification under your belt, definitely ask about it, because that's a huge difference, especially if you're getting these rates the 6 weeks in advance and you're getting the lower rate. You can be getting a really good bargain on this flight, and that can give you more money to spend on other things, or you could even put it elsewhere. So that's really going to make a huge difference in your travel costs. Another senior discount that you should be looking at are hotels. You do have from 10% to 50% off if you have a senior discount. So that's really huge.
Yes, yeah, and then AARP members do get additional discounts with their card. So that's a kind of a quiet way to just hand over that card and get the discount in return. And that can be on top of discounts that are already offered for general seniors. And then you can get additional discounts at amusement parks, at museums, all kinds of stuff like that. It's kind of like having a student ID, which is another thing that we're going to cover. Even some restaurants will offer senior discounts. So always ask. The worst that can happen is they'll say no, sorry. Best that can happen is you get a discount, and you really want that discount. Yes.
Pretty hefty.
And we recommend going to the AARP website to check out all the discounts available to you. And then also the senior list is a really great source to find general discounts, and especially they have a travel list on all the discounts you can make on travel. It's actually in our book. That was one of my sources, because it had really great source material to chase after from there.
For sure.
So another good thing is membership discounts. If you're a member to a specific airline or to a hotel service, you can get really good discounts. You can rack up those miles and get free stays, free flights, all of that. So most airlines will offer this, where if you become a member with them, usually there's no fee. You just have to perpetually fly with them. And you don't get points off if you don't fly with them. But anytime you do fly with them, you increase your points. And then you'll get free flights. They'll offer you discounts with their partners at hotels. Hotels like Hilton, Wyndham, Marriott, Holiday Inn, other hotels like that, those big brand names also have membership opportunities. And if you join their membership, again, it's free, and you stay with them multiple times, you rack up points, and then you'll get offers for free weekends. They'll offer you discounts on your birthday, stuff like that. So really, really great opportunities out there. You can also get those discounts if you're signing up for any kind of amusement park. So like we're pass holders here in Orlando, and it's much cheaper for us if we go multiple times to get that annual pass, and you get discounts in the parks. And there's other things like that for Six Flags, all kinds of amusement experiences.
And there are also things like, just to cut in, AAA does do discounts on hotels. They often do discounts on if you wanted to rent a car. Even for attractions and things like that, AAA has a discount at Universal Orlando. And even things like if you have an American Express card, you can get certain benefits depending on if they have a partnership or not. So really just looking into all the different things that may be afforded to you because of the things that you have, you could be getting those discounts that, I know saving money isn't as exciting as making money, but you're essentially making money that you're not spending, and that's something else you can allocate elsewhere. So those discounts that maybe don't fit in this huge category, but there are different things that you're a member of that totally help you out in the bottom line. So keep your eyes out for those.
Definitely.
For sure.
And another thing is a lot of people will travel with their kids or their grandkids. I know that my grandma used to take us on trips with just me or just my brother, and we get to pick where we would go. And this is a really great way to bond with your kids or your grandkids.
Yes, for sure.
But that doesn't mean you can't take advantage of their student status. So I know that a lot of my earlier travels were when I was a student, and I had a student discount card with me everywhere that I went. And especially if you're international, they offer amazing discounts throughout Europe, and also a lot in the Middle East and in Asia. There are really, really good discounts for students. One of my friends was in Dubai and had just like 50% off everywhere she went. Food, stores, clothes, everything. So kind of a weird area to have great discounts, but they do because they don't have that big of a student
they're trying
status
to
there. Yes, absolutely.
If you have a student with you, take advantage of them.
Yeah, so student discounts are huge. You can get discounts on museums. You can get discounts at certain amusement experiences. You can get discounts on flights, hotels. It depends on where you are. But again, always
Just
ask.
yes.
If your student has that card, even if they're a high school student, as long as they have that student ID.
Oh, so a student ID, yeah, that's usually
Yeah,
what
that's
ask
all they
for,
need. So if you're going somewhere with a student, just ask them to bring their student ID.
Yes.
And then another thing we want to bring up, because it's right around the corner,
It's
so
soon.
close.
We leave this week.
Yeah, so that's another reason why we're excited to talk about travel. Is
Yes.
we're about to go on our own little traveling experience.
Yes.
We're headed to Vegas for the AWS convention.
Yes.
We want you guys to join us there, and we have a couple hints on how to save if you do want to join us there. The great thing is there aren't really travel agents around anymore,
Not
but
really, yeah.
we're offering you our team as your travel agents. If you
And
want
they're
help,
awesome,
yes,
guys.
they're amazing. They're so nice. They will answer any questions you have. They will help you
Yes.
with anything.
They have information on local hotels. They have information on flights if you're not sure how to do that. They know where you can look if you would like to book a flight, or they can help you even just with getting to the convention, where you'd like to stay, what you'd like to do while you're there. We have this great team available to us, and they're available to you guys. So we're really hoping that you take advantage of them and come see us in Vegas, because they're really going to help you to get you there.
Yeah, absolutely. And they have all the best deals for you guys. They know all the cheapest hotels that are also the best experiences, all that stuff. And then we're also offering all of our own discounts on people that
Of
want to
course.
come to the convention, because it's going to be
Yes.
really, really great. And then once you get to Vegas, we've actually been starting our own travel column
Yes.
for WSI. And we've been talking about all of the great things that there are to do in Vegas. And it's a really great travel destination if you just want a fun trip, because there's so much free stuff to do
Oh,
there.
there's so many things. People think that it's just a strip of casinos and you have to walk in with cash teeming out of your pockets to gamble, but you and I aren't really interested in the gambling scene. We've kind of been talking about it in the past couple of weeks, that there's so many different things you can do, even on the strip, or even if you venture off the beaten path a little bit. There are conservatories, there are gardens, there are museums, there are winter wonderland experiences that'll be up while we're there in December, and there's so many different things, and so many of them are free that you can just walk in and enjoy the day in Vegas.
Absolutely. There's shows that are free.
Yes.
There are a couple things that cost very, very minimal prices. I'm
Some
talking
just
$30 or
donations,
under.
yeah.
So lots of really great experiences. And I'm super excited to go. This is
yes, I'm so excited.
going to be my first time in Nevada, so I'm excited
too.
for that.
Yes.
So it's going to be really great, and we hope to see you guys there.
Yeah.
And if you want more information about that, you can go onto mywealthsummit.com or WSITV.com and find out more. And now that we've told you about that, we're going to tell you guys how to make some money off the travel industry.
Of course.
Because we always got to get that. We want you to save the money, and then the money that you can save, you can
You put it
invest.
elsewhere.
Yeah, so like we said, $3 billion a day. $3 billion a day goes towards travel. That's a lot of money going towards
crazy.
travel.
Crazy.
And we want you guys to be able to profit off of that. So we have some travel stocks for you today. Taylor, if you want to talk a little bit about our first one.
Yes, the first travel stock that Leah has brought for us that we are now looking into very closely is Booking Holdings Incorporated. They had a 77% increase since 2016, and we're going to put the chart up for you. It's got this crazy upwards trend that we've been seeing, and it's obviously going to go up higher as we're nearing into this holiday travel peak season. And of course, it's a super strong chart, and we've seen really good movement in the past. And it's just something that you can kind of count on to always be a relevant industry. They're really well immersed in what they're doing. And of course, $3 billion a day, any chunk of that is going to be worth it.
Absolutely. And this is just also a really great resource for when you're booking.
Yes.
Because this has flights, hotels, experiences, everything. And
Bundles
it'll,
and things like that.
Yeah, and it offers you discounts if you book it all together. It offers you all the best experiences. You can see all the prices laid out right in front of you. You can do it per night for hotels, or you can do it for your whole stay, so you get that full number.
Yes.
So I love using this website when I'm
yeah.
traveling.
It's like an online travel agent, except easier. So, yeah,
Exactly.
for sure.
And then our next one is United Airlines, which is one of those major airlines out there.
Of course.
We picked this one because it has the strongest chart. It did have a little bit of a dip back in 2016, but there was kind of a travel dip in mid-2016. And then there is always this fluctuation in the travel industry, so we're picking the best charts out of that.
Of course, yes.
But always invest right before those peak seasons that we talked about for travel.
Yes.
So United Airlines has got a really, really strong uptrend. It's got this steady bounce, especially this year, that I really like.
Yes.
And it's seen a 104% increase since 2016. So I think that speaks for itself.
Yes, I would agree. Yes.
And then our next one is Kansas City Southern Corp, and this is actually a railroad
Wow.
line. So
Going
that's kind
back.
of retro, yeah. But trains are fun.
Oh, no, yes. I love trains.
So this one has seen a 90% increase since 2017, and again, it just has this really strong uptick going on since 2017, and even back before that. And we just really like the direction this is going. It's especially strong this year.
Yes, it's looking really good.
Yeah. And then our last one is American Express, which I know you mentioned earlier.
Yes, I did mention American Express, yes. So, of course, we've actually seen in the past, we've talked about both Visa and MasterCard, so kind of just those kind of payment companies have really good charts and just in general. But, again, American Express Corp is going to be AXP. They're looking really strong. We've seen a 73% increase since 2017. And they're just kind of a good bet for you to have. They do offer you membership discounts if you do hold a card, and even if you don't, you can invest in their stock and take advantage of all of the things that they've done with travel and everything else.
Absolutely. So they have travel specific cards, they have specific travel discounts, they have all, like American Express, kind of ironically as an American company, is really stressing travel even internationally. They have,
for sure.
I know that I used American Express when I was traveling abroad because they didn't have the same fees, because there are fees on your credit card when you're in a foreign country. But they have all these deals where you're actually gaining points towards paying for flights and hotels and stuff like that when you're selling or buying things abroad.
You get points when you book directly with Amex, yes. So it does benefit you both on both sides for travel.
Absolutely. And then also if you invest in it, you can get a little bit extra in your pocket. So I think that's all we have for you guys as far as stocks. We do have one little thing. We want to update you on the tariff situation. I'm not going to say the dreaded words. We've got our jar. It's getting full. We'll be bringing it with us to Vegas very soon.
So look out for that.
But our little update is, I don't know about you guys, but I love my cup of tea every day. I know, Taylor, you like a cup of mint tea every day.
I do like my mint tea, yes.
So we're both tea drinkers. And tea is actually one of the biggest things that we've seen a rise in price on, because a lot of tea is imported from China. And so that's seen a big hit because of the tariffs. And because of those price increases, we've been looking at alternatives in the U.S. There aren't that many actually, but there's one that really caught my eye because it's also a organic service, and it's one of the biggest plantations in the northern American region. And so it's the Charleston tea plantation, and their prices are currently even with or lower than most of the teas that are imported from China. And they have all sorts of tea. I tried their tea in preparation for this, and I really liked their Earl Grey. It's really wonderful. And it's just a really great replacement for if you do like tea or you have anyone in your family that likes tea, because this is just one of those traditional things that's really taking a hit.
And you got to have your tea, you know, especially coming into the cold months. You got to make sure that you have those staples, and you don't want to miss out on your holiday traditions if that's something that you incorporate. So definitely, keep your eye out on those things. The tariffs aren't going anywhere as far as we know, so just kind of keep your rolling with the punches, and we'll try and keep you updated as well.
So it hasn't been that bad. It's just these little things, and we want to save you money wherever we can. So
a little bit adds up, so we want to make sure that you're not losing money unnecessarily, for sure.
And then if you go abroad where the tariffs aren't in place, you can always bring some tea home. You have to talk about it. You have to put it on your form when you come back in the country. I learned. Because
you tried to smuggle tea, didn't
you? I did. I didn't realize I was smuggling tea, but they opened my suitcase and were like, why? But as long as you state it, as long as you state it on your entrance form when you're entering the country, you're good to go.
There you go.
So that's the last of our updates for today, and we hope that that got to end on the travel. So we hope that you guys enjoy any travels that you're doing for the holidays, and we hope that this helps you save and make some money in the future. So thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching the latest episode of WSI TV. Be sure to visit WSITV.com, where you can subscribe for free with no contract and gain instant access to the secrets of self-made millionaires via the WSI TV Vault. So go ahead and claim this gift for free now at WSITV.com.